I've been playing Pokemon ever since Pokemon Silver when I got my first copy in 5th grade in 2005. Don't tell me that it was 5 years too late for that game, because later on I got Pokemon Sapphire. But enough of the history. How does Pokemon Sun and Moon stack up to the rest of the main series games? Well, in this episode of Reviewosis, let's just go ahead and try to do exactly that in this video. One word before we begin, spoilers. So the story is basically this. You fly in from the Kanto region to live in the Alola region to, I don't know, get smoke weed, get money, something. But anyhow, you're the new kid on the block on Melee Island. And as usual, you want to go ahead and set out on a new Pokemon journey in this new foreign land. But then you begin to realize in the game that, hey, this isn't the usual gym leaders thing where you have to collect 8 gym badges then have a Elite Four run to the championship. No, you have to go through a whole bunch of trials. Trials that just basically boil down to little pointless mini games. And you know what? It's actually kind of refreshing. It's kind of sad that it is. Yeah, Pokemon has been the same game for 20 years, so this is a boring change, but a change nonetheless. Then again, it's pretty much the same thing with every other Pokemon game. Oh well, don't worry about that too much. Anyhow, it's different, and you have to battle a little boss Pokemon, which is an interesting concept to say the least. Little boss Pokemon they have to go ahead and battle in order to win the trial. But ultimately, you end up battling the Island Kahuna. With there being 4 islands in the region, you had to battle 4 Kahunas: Kahuna Hala, Kahuna Olivia, Kahuna Nanu, and Kahuna Hapo. Ah man, these names, except for the one, these names just roll right off the tongue, don't they? And you're accompanied on this journey by your trusty rival who, okay, let's admit it. Let's all agree on something here. Can we please all agree that Hao as a rival sucks? He's so pathetic. He is so pathetic. The point of a rival, in my opinion, is to basically help you grow as a trainer. A rival that could, well, pretty much kick your ass at the next week. But Hao doesn't do this. You could basically have any team in conjunction with your starter and just run them over like a freight train. A rival is something that you're able to sharpen your wits with. Someone that is able to beat you down in order to inspire you to just build yourself back up to make yourself stronger than he is. With Hao, that's not the case. You're always stronger than he is, and he never gets any better. You know, I kind of miss the rival Hugh. Oh, wait a minute, I forgot about the opening sequence that happened 3 months prior to you coming to the Alola region. This girl Lily steals a cosmic broccoli turd from some conservation Pokemon thing or a bobber, and it holds a special secret power. Why can't we just go back to not really discovering any kind of secret power in any Pokemon games and just fighting an imposing force that isn't hell-bent on destruction of the planet? Well, fortunately, we get exactly that. Lily is this to-herself kind of girl, so fearful of anything and is pretty much the female equivalent of N. And Lily is on her own little quest in order to help return Cosmog, or that she more affectionately refers to as Nebby, back home to where it belongs. Or so she thinks. So as you're going about your trials, you're followed around by these 2 slags, or you follow them wherever they need to go, because, linear narrative. When you encounter Team Skull for their first time, they're treated as a nuisance, and that's actually kind of meh. Team Skull sucks. Except for Guzma. Guzma's cool. They're pretty much pushovers. And all throughout the story, you start to think that Team Skull is trying to go after Nebby because Gladion, this edgelord fuckface that he is just like, oh, you can't let my team that I'm looking for come get this space broccoli thing because something bad will happen. And, well, the funny thing is, Team Skull never really goes after Nibby. It just happens, just like the rest of the story. And also, you begin to realize that Team Skull is more pawns to, well, Lily's mother. What's her face? She's just so forgettable as a character, honestly. That I don't even care to know what her name is. And everything is going swell with your trials, that is until you reach Ula Ula Island, where you start to realize not everything is quite right in this region, in terms of, well, how organized everything is. You begin to realize that the kahuna is, well, Nanu, of course, but is nowhere to be found, except as a mysterious figure that pops up every now and again. It gets even worse when you begin to realize that on Pony Island, that there is no kahuna at all, so you begin to think to yourself, well, what the hell did I do now? There's no kahuna here to fight. There's not really much purpose for me to be on this island anyway, except to chase after Lily, who somehow went through a metamorphosis but right before my eyes, and I hardly ever noticed, because she's so, well, hardly there. And that is when you realize that the short woman with the horse Pokemon, Mudstail, Hapu, is actually a resident of the island and becomes the kahuna. Right on the spot. Right on time, right, perfect timing for you to just fight her. And for what? It just happens. Everything in this game, this story, just kind of happens. Meanwhile, while I was playing this game, I was just thinking to myself, just get on with it. I want to find all the new Pokemon. I don't care. But hey, with all that said and done, that's pretty much the story in a nutshell. Oh, and once you beat the Elite Four, you, fight Kukui to prove yourself as the champion of the new and first champion of Alola. And there's no previous champion or Elite Four before you even came there. Until you, well, become it. Yeah, that's basically all the story is. Also, I did purposely leave out some more information about the story, mostly because I don't care. The story kind of blows. Also, I can't be arsed to say any more about the story. It's that bad. Fortunately, that's not why we play Pokemon in the first place. It's all about the features, mechanics, and everything else that comes brand new with the game, along with the whole entire new Pokemon set. So, let's get jumping into that. Starting with the mechanics and everything else. Well, never mind the story. Every Pokemon game is all about the Pokemon and features that come out with the new Pokemon game. Isn't it now? Isn't it? Isn't it? Well, yes, pretty much so. So, the new features of the game is, well, I didn't like it as much as last gen. But it's definitely better than 5th generation features, which were, bad. The X-Transceiver, I mean, come on. That thing was meh. Who even used that? Anyhow, I gotta stop reminiscing about the past. I have to realize on the now. So what's happening now? There's a new Pokédex, and it's alive. And it won't shut up. Shut up. And also, he's just there, blankly staring at you, only to blink every so often. On the bottom screen. Is there any way to turn off? Is there any way to turn that off? No. There isn't. And it's honestly just the most boring and mundane feature that the game has to offer. So anyhow, we gotta go ahead and look at some of the other features on here. Here we have the Festival Plaza, which, by the way, it really muddied up the streamlined experience from the PSS from last gen. Remember how easy it was just to go ahead and try to find all your friends that you registered onto your friend list on your Nintendo 3DS? You know how easy that was? You know how simple it was? And also, you were able to battle randos if they accepted your battles. God knows I never accepted any battles or trades. Only so rarely did I. You know how easy that was? Now you have to jump through a whole bunch of hoops. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want to battle your friend that lives in, I don't know, fucking Romania? Well, you're not going to go ahead and get that. You have to go ahead, click in the festival plaza. Oh, wait, you're not connected to the internet. You gotta connect to the internet. That could take too long, depending on where you live and how good your internet connection is. Oh, and how good the servers are doing that day. And then you get to battle your friend from Romania. Let's just call her Jackson. Basically, the Festival Plaza is the marriage, or should I say the bastard child, of the PCS from last generation, and also Join Avenue from Pokemon Black and White 2, and it is awful. I hate it. It's so pointless. I just want to trade Pokemon. I know I'm just nitpicking about taking an extra step to just, battle and trade, but it's kind of pointless to have all this garbage here when you're able to do a lot of the stuff that the services are able to do within the Festival Plaza yourself. And there's even better ways to do it.
Oh, yes! I hate this! It is revolting!
More?
Please.
Pokepalago. It's honestly pretty damn cool. I really just like sending your Pokemon off to the daycare center of sorts with a whole bunch of their buddies, watching them do a whole bunch of stuff, gathering resources for you, leveling up, and growing berries for you for various things such as competitive battle or that sort of thing. And then there's Pokemon Refresh. It's just a watered-down Pokemon me. It's not really all that great. That always leaves a smile on my face. I almost forgot. Oh, you don't have to use TMs. Yay! You get to ride Pokemon instead, which is boring. Shut up. And then there's a Pokemon SOS signal, where a singular Pokemon they are fighting against, calls a friend in order to have assistance. Because he knows, that Pokemon that you're fighting knows that he's about to become your bitch. Or is about to receive a stupid nickname that is somehow sexual. Either way, he knows he does not want to be caught by you. So he calls a friend. He uses his +1. He phones a friend. I'm using too many Who Wants to Be a Millionaire references, but shut up, this is my review, okay? So anyway, the SOS is pretty self-explanatory. A one-on-one battle becomes a 2-on-1, which allows for opportunities for shiny chaining, also raising your Pokemon even faster by knocking both of the bastards out, or just becoming a nuisance whenever the Pokemon is too scared to fight you.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I'm come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping left its seat while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence.
And then there's the Z moves. Oh my god. My thoughts are just all over the place with the Z moves. I get the general idea of making a really shit move stronger by just feeding the Pokemon a crystal of some sort, or making one hold it, of course. But then again, it's just so ridiculous. It's kind of funny. It's really funny. And the move that your trainer has to perform to activate them, oh my god. Why? Why did they have to make this basically Dragon Ball Z featuring Pokemon? I too have made my own Z move dance, so here you go. There, that's enough. Shit. I like the idea of the Z moves in order to give more strategy to the game, whether to use it or not. For example, Z-Splash. Why does it raise your attack by 3 stages? Why? Then there's just crazy, out of the ballpark, ludicrously crazy Z moves specifically for certain Pokemon, such as Alolan, Raichu, Pikachu himself. Fuck that thing, by the way. As well as the 3 starters that you have at the beginning of the game in their final forms. I really love Decidueye. There's also this lovely meme I found of it. I love it. I like Z moves, but then again, I hate how you have to activate Z moves. And if you don't like your trainer dancing around like an idiot, you could always just turn it off. So, let's go ahead and take a quick recap from my opinions. Rotom Pokédex, pointless and stupid. Festival Plaza, an inconvenience. Pokemon Refresh, Poképelago, excellent. I like it. Not bad. QR scanner, love it. Pikachu! So, the new Pokemon. What I think I really love a lot about this game is how they went back and made regional variants, similar to how dog breeds came about. That all makes sense. It all biologically makes sense. And you know what? Some of these designs are actually pretty solid. Like the Alolan Raichu and the Alolan Geodude line. And then you have some of the most ridiculous that you fall in love with them Pokemon, like Alolan Dugtrio. And then there's just ones that just crush my soul, like ruining one of my favorite Pokemon of all time, Persian. You had one job, Game Freak. You just had to make him, not ugly. He's so ugly. He hates Monday so much, he's so ugly. And Alolan Marowak, It doesn't make any sense. And Alolan Rattata, pretty solid, has a nice little, mustache. He looks like he's about ready to go work on someone's garden. But when he evolves, oh, sweet Jesus. Yeah, I need not want. But I really wish that there was more Alolan forms. The Alolan forms are a very interesting concept and actually makes sense when you compare it to the real world. And then there's a new Pokemon in itself. Just with any Pokemon game that has brand new Pokemon, you have the good, you have the bad, and then you just have the plain ridiculous. A good example of, well, the best is probably Lycanroc. Lycanroc, gee, oh, hell yeah, look at that. 2 forms, too solid, too good, love it, can't get enough of it. I really want more Lycanroc in my life. And then there's, why does it exist? Kind of Pokemon, you know, kind of like the Ultra Beast. Now, remember the whole entire Gen 1 argument of all the new Pokemon generation Pokemon being over-designed? Well, I definitely see their point when you take a good look at the Ultra Beast. Buzzwole. Yes. This is stupid. But hey, there's not really much I can knock about the Pokemon of this generation. They're just not that great as compared to I don't know, something like 4th generation, where there was a couple of new Pokemon there that looked like it had been a part of Pokemon forever. Or the ones from 5th generation that are not inanimate objects that are actually pretty damn good. Or 6th generation that is not Klefki, because Klefki looks dumb. But hey, I'll go ahead and just end the little Pokemon spiel right there. This video is already long enough. If this game was just a standalone spin-off Pokemon game, it would probably be an 8 for me. However, since it's a main series game and it's trying to do something different, but meanwhile just putting a whole bunch of stuff that I personally don't care about, since this scoring system is completely opinionated, and let's put that front and center right now, here and now, that it is a 7. This game, for a main series Pokemon game, doesn't necessarily do it for me. It does a lot of things right, it does a lot of interesting things, but it doesn't do enough. It doesn't really draw me in like Generation 6 did, and revamping my love for Pokemon pretty much. After the, well, pretty much somewhat of a shit show of Generation 5. Don't get me wrong, I like Generation 5, and also I like Generation 7, but it's the weakest, in my opinion, in all the main series games for Pokemon. So, since you have my score out of the way, everything is settled, the dust is cleared, and the comment section is going to be riled mad with a whole bunch of Poke nerds, I am going to go ahead and end this video here and say shut up and stay happy, and until the next one that I make. And please, for the love of God, I've said this already, fuck it.